The Battle of the Hollow Worlds was one of the most gruesome and pivotal confrontations during the War in Heaven. This battle saw the emergence of the C'tan known as Llandu'gor the Flayer, whose horrific powers would leave a lasting scar on both the Old Ones and the Necrons. This was also the turning point when the Necrons realized the horror of Llandu'gor the Flayer. Unearthed from forbidden data concealed within the archives of the heretical and long-extinct Xenos race known as the Streven, the radical inquisitional group named the Serpentis Covenant defied mandates to destroy this proscribed knowledge. This cache, which was eventually rediscovered by rogue traders and xenohistorians, unveiled chilling details about Llandu'gor the Flayer. His monstrous hunger for flesh and unbridled rage were so intense that they tore the very fabric of reality, causing the warp to bleed into real space and creating zones of unending terror. The Hollow Worlds were an ancient and enigmatic system of planets, intricately designed by the Old Ones with vast subterranean chambers and sprawling underground cities. These worlds, protected by layers of rock and powerful energy fields, served as both sanctuaries and strategic fortresses. The Hollow Worlds were constructed within a pocket of space that existed in the liminal zone between real space and the warp, a domain where the physical and immaterial intertwined. This enigmatic region allowed the Old Ones to harness the energies of both realms, creating planets that were both fortified and infused with arcane power. These worlds, hidden from conventional detection, drew strength from the warp's chaotic potential while maintaining a stable anchor in real space. The result was a series of formidable strongholds where reality itself could be bent to the will of the Old Ones, offering unparalleled defense and strategic advantage during the tumultuous war in Heaven. The underground labyrinths and hidden vaults within them were architectural marvels, blending beauty with functionality to offer a formidable defense against invaders. These hidden vaults safeguarded relics, knowledge, and powerful artifacts, secured by complex psychic wards and automated defense systems. During the war in Heaven, the Hollow Worlds became critical battlegrounds as the Old Ones sought refuge and strategic advantage against the Necrons and the C'tan. They housed vast libraries of knowledge, advanced genetic laboratories, and psychic amplifiers that enhanced the Old Ones' formidable abilities to manipulate the warp. However, as the war raged on, much of this region was besieged and eventually overrun, leading to their abandonment or destruction to prevent their knowledge from falling into enemy hands. In the aftermath, these worlds fell into obscurity, becoming legends and myths with their secrets lost for all time. The Necrons, under the oppressive influence of their C'tan masters, launched a devastating assault on the Hollow Worlds, deep within the ancient and secretive territories of the Old Ones. Leading this brutal charge was Llandu'gor the Flayer, whose mere presence instilled a profound sense of dread even among the otherwise stoic Necrons. As the battle raged on, the true horror of Llandu'gor's power became painfully evident. The Burning One revealed the secret of entering the webway to the Necrons, a feat previously beyond their capabilities due to their lack of psychers. Unlike other races, the Necrons had no connection to the warp, making traditional access to the webway impossible. However, the Burning One, with its mastery of the material universe and Starforged power, demonstrated how to breach the webway's walls through physical means. Using advanced technology, the Necrons could now tear into the webway, bypassing the psychic locks that had barred their entry for eons. This newfound knowledge allowed them to exploit the labyrinthine passages for warfare and conquest, further enhancing their reach across the galaxy. Llandu'gor the Flayer was a nightmarish entity, a towering figure shifting between solid and semi-ethereal states, with a grotesque body of sinewy flesh and exposed bone, draped in the flayed skins of his countless victims. His ghastly face, fixed in a ghoulish grin and glowing with malevolent crimson eyes, exuded insatiable hunger and sadistic pleasure. Surrounding him was an aura of palpable dread, warping reality and causing overwhelming terror and hallucinations in those near him. Some speculated that Llandu'gor was a twisted mockery of the Necronter, embodying what they might have resembled before their transformation into Necrons. His horrific appearance and malevolent nature were a cruel reflection, or even a perverse homage, to the Necronter's once frail and suffering forms, serving as a constant reminder of their past vulnerability and the price they paid for immortality. He stripped the very souls from his victims, leaving behind lifeless skeletal remains. The Old Ones and their myriad creations faced unimaginable terror as they were flayed alive, their psychic screams echoing through the warp, amplifying the fear and chaos. Even the Necrons, despite their emotionless and mechanical nature, began to experience an unsettling horror. Witnessing the grotesque joy Llandu'gor took in his macabre acts, and the sight of their own allies being mercilessly flayed alongside the hated Old Ones, caused a deep sense of revulsion and fear to creep into their otherwise unfeeling minds. The sheer brutality of Llandu'gor's actions left a dark, indelible mark on all who beheld the carnage. The Necrons, though relentless in their pursuit of the Old Ones and indifferent to their eventual demise, harbored a profound sense of resentment and offense towards Llandu'gor the Flayer from this battle. Their animosity towards the Old Ones paled in comparison to their revulsion at being commanded by the Flayer, whose grotesque existence seemed to mock their very essence. This perverse mockery and the sheer indignity of being subjugated by such a malevolent entity stoked their resentment and determination to utterly annihilate this C'tan. The Necrons resolved to utterly annihilate Llandu'gor the Flayer, understanding that merely shattering him into shards would not suffice. The unparalleled viciousness and uncontrollable nature of this C'tan highlighted the existential threat posed by the star gods, far surpassing the dread they had already experienced with the Nightbringer. This profound realization solidified their determination under the leadership of the Silent King. The Necrons, already contemplating rebellion against their oppressive masters, found in the conflict with Llandu'gor the catalyst to pursue complete eradication. This decision marked a turning point, cementing their resolve to not just rebel, but to completely obliterate the monstrous entity of Llandu'gor, ensuring that his malevolent influence would be erased from the cosmos forever. Destroying a C'tan is an act of incredible magnitude. When the Necrons shattered the C'tan into shards, they didn't just kill them. They broke apart their very essence, which had reality-warping implications. Now imagine utterly wiping a C'tan from reality. What type of implications could that on the physical environment? While the C'tan feed on and manipulate energy on a cosmic scale, Llandu'gor the Flayer was particularly twisted, obsessed with flaying his victims, which had an eerie, reality-warping effect on those around him. When the Necrons annihilated him, the energy released could have been immense and chaotic, ripping through the fabric of reality itself. When Llandu'gor was completely destroyed, it was said that with his final breath in the physical universe, he released the curse of the Flayer virus upon the Necron. The curse could be viewed as a kind of metaphysical infection. This curse distorts Necrons' minds, driving them mad with bloodlust and causing them to attempt to replicate their former lives prior to the biotransference. The Ghoul stars are already known as a mysterious, haunted region of space, rife with anomalous and dangerous phenomena. It is possible that the destruction of Llandu'gor triggered an existing instability within this region. The Ghoul stars could be a weak point in reality, prone to disturbances. The cataclysmic energy unleashed by the death of Llandu'gor may have been the final catalyst for a tear in the fabric of space-time, unleashing new horrors or opening a gateway to unknown dimensions. Knowing that the Ghoul stars have one of the highest concentrations of Necrons infected with the Flayer virus gives credence to the fact that the Battle of the Hollow Worlds could have taken place in the Ghoul stars. This is particularly within the macabre expanse of the Bone Kingdom. The region's destabilized reality and pervasive aura of dread suggest that the titanic struggle against Llandu'gor's uncontrollable rage and reality-warping power might have irrevocably scarred the Ghoul stars. Here, the malignant influence of the Flayer continues to echo through time, manifesting in the haunted and cursed existence of the Necron Flayers, perpetually driven by the remnants of Llandu'gor's terrifying legacy. The Battle of the Hollow Worlds was an epic and horrific conflict from the war in heaven, revealing chilling details about Llandu'gor, the Flayer, whose monstrous hunger for flesh and rage tore the fabric of reality, causing the warp to bleed into real space and creating zones of unending terror. Despite their indifference to the death of their hated enemies, the Old Ones, the Necrons, were profoundly offended by the Flayer's command over them, which mocked their existence and drove them to ultimately annihilate him. This act of destruction by the Necrons, who realized the existential threat posed by the C'tan, led to the Flayer's final curse, the Flayer virus, forever haunting the Necrons with a compulsion to mimic his horrific acts, perpetuating his legacy of fear and suffering.